Building a Tenor Guitar Part 23 at randallprice.com. Hi, today I'm working on cutting the tenon into the neck of the tenor guitar. Last time I cut out the profile for the neck of the tenor guitar, and as I said, today I'm going to work on cutting the tenon into the neck. What I've done here is clamp a straight edge down the center line of the guitar so I can establish the center line, and then I've taken my neck and centered my neck on the center line of the guitar, and I've already got it marked, but once I got that centered, I've made a mark on the inside of the neck from this edge of the mortise, and I took the straight edge off, lined that up, and made a mark on the other edge of the mortise, and from that I got my two sides of the tenon. The reason I did that is because the mortise in the guitar is about a 1/16 of an inch offset to one side. So when I clamped this into the jig to cut the mortise, it must have slipped a little bit and I got it off center, so I need to compensate for that by offsetting the neck by the same amount. So I've got those marked. One other thing that I found was, even though when I glued the top to the sides, and if you remember, I'd set up a jig to hold this neck block at a 90-degree angle, either at that time or maybe afterwards. The sides of the guitar sprung back, and the front edge here is not at a 90-degree angle to the top. So when I cut my neck, I simply can't cut a 90-degree tenon, or it's not going to meet up properly with the neck. It's going to be tilted. So I need to compensate for that. To do that, I just took a bevel gauge, and I don't really care what that angle is, but I just found out what that angle was, and I transferred that angle to the side of my neck, and then I started playing around with the spacer block, and I got this spacer block set so that when my neck is on a flat surface, it is 90 degrees to that surface. The reason I did that is when I cut this tenon, I'll put it in my table saw, I'll butt this up against my sled, it'll hold it at the proper angle. So I've got those marked. I'm just going to mark these extents of these lines out a little bit better, and then I'll go over to the table saw and make the first cuts on the neck. Rather than trying to make two cuts, I decided I would just nibble that out with the table saw. It does leave a rough cut here, but what I'll do is cut that a little bit short of where I want my tenon to be, and then I'll take a chisel and finish that up with a chisel. That's obviously way too wide yet, but I'm going to take it over to the guitar body and keep testing it, and just incrementally cut up to that line. Getting close. I'm doing here is trying to get the kind of serrated surface that the saw blades left off, get right down to the bottom of the, where the teeth of the saw blade cut into the wood. Good right there. Now the other side needs to come down a little bit further yet. I'll work on it next. And I'll know that I need to do any more work on the table, so I'm just going to clean up this other side of this tenon and then see where I'm at in relation to the mortise on the guitar body. It's very close to fitting. It almost fits. Bottom edge is a little bit tight. Top edge is starting to go in. There we go. I just need to cut the bottom edge of the tenon on to cut it to the right length. There's the mortise. There's the tenon. You can see I need to cut about that much off the tenon. And I also need to round the bottom edges of the tenon to conform to the mortise. So now I need to cut the tenon to length. I'll just leave the guitar upside down and the neck upside down, and just make a little mark there. I'll trim that up with hand tools. fitting pretty good depth-wise. It's pretty flush right here, and the front's beating up well. What I'll need to do next is do a little checking to see if the guitar neck is in the same plane as the guitar body this way, and also this way, and just do that with a straight edge. Make sure everything's aligned well. That offset worked out well. The center line of the neck is right in the center of this brown stripe, and it's lined right up with the center of my guitar body. Also, I need to check the neck to see if it's straight this way, left and right. That's pretty good afternoon's work getting that tenon cut. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you. This tenon is 3/4 of an inch deep. I actually made my mortise about 7/8 of an inch deep. And that is because when I bolt this neck on, I want a gap here at the base of the tenon and the mortise. I want my bearing points here, not there. So I'll be purchasing the barrel nuts and bolts to bolt the neck on this week, and I'll be checking the adjustment on that neck. And that just about does it for today. Thanks for watching.
For woodworking plans, tips, and techniques, visit randallprice.com.